a hole in a flute that the Christ's breath moves through. Listen to this music. Author Eva Nasser shares her life story in a book called Rifles to Roses, Memories and Miracles. And she, throughout the book, poetically reminds us of the power that we have when we recognize this beautiful dance that we're doing with divinity, that we get to. We have the privilege of participating with every single moment of every single day of our lives. And this is the concept she repeats. Imagine being made by the best artist into an instrument, a cello or a guitar or whatever catches your fancy. Then imagine being played by a prodigy and being heard by all attuned ears with the same heart that made you. Imagine that you are all these things. Imagine that kind of alignment. Imagine being the instrument, the prodigy, and the listener. What kind of alignment would that bring to our lives? Ernest Holmes spoke something similar. He said, life is infinite energy coupled with limitless creative imagination. It is the invisible essence and substance of every visible form. Its nature is goodness, truth, wisdom, and beauty, as well as energy and imagination. Our highest satisfaction comes from a sense of conscious union with this invisible life, conscious union. When we allow ourselves to be still, when we fill ourselves with the beauty of silence, what is breathing us? What instrument do we become? Can we become? What activities do we enjoy that gives us that connection of conscious union? How often do we need to practice coming into that alignment of that all-knowing? Joseph Rial wrote a book called Being and Vibration, and I absolutely love the way he describes his life with the Picurist Pueblo. He describes the family like this. We knew we were a people, a vibration, who had come from the infinite void, from zero, from one sense that we did not exist. We were made of appearing and disappearing light that came from the inhalation and exhalation of God's breath. We were from the very heart of the center of the non-existence of infinity. Can you even wrap your head around that? We were from the very heart of the center of the non-existence of infinity. We all know there is so much more out there that has absolutely nothing to do with accomplishments and expectations. It's more of a sense, an intuition, a knowing, a vibration, a frequency, a vibration that in the silent and still space, we can tap into the frequency that it carries. And when we align with the frequency, we become energized. We become the hole in the flute that the Christ's breath moves through. We can feel the tingles and the tickles in the midst of the non-doing, the energy flowing through us from the universe, the energy of creation, our connection to everything. We know it's there. We know we can access it. We know we can feel it. We know we can raise our vibration to experience a mirroring of a higher vibration through the veil. Because as above, so below. As within, so without. And I like to take that a step further. As I see, I am seen. As I feel, I am felt. As I think, so I'm thought of. Joseph Rael continues in his book and says, action and vibration are the same. And action can be equated with struggle or dynamic tension, the energy that is creating the possibility for creativity and then becomes potential around possibility. Without dynamic tension, there is no creativity. Without the struggle, without that dynamic tension, there is no creativity. Out of that struggle of the creative energies, which is sound vibration, comes the reconciliation of that struggle and the manifestation of the creation of a new thing. Out of the struggle of creative energies, when we blow through the hole of the flute, we create the sound vibrations, and there's a reconciliation of that struggle, and new things are created through song. Once we connect to the space where we observe ourselves as the observer of our life, we begin to sense why things are showing up in our lives. We connect the dots between the above and the below, the within, the without, the conscious and the unconscious. We begin to have compassion for this human, for our fellow humans, trying to navigate, often on our own, through these daily life adventures. We also begin to see that things don't happen to us, they happen because of us. Things happen because of us. So with that, I would like to invite you into a meditation. If you want to find your comfortable meditation position, feeling the comfort of a chair beneath you, feeling the comfort of your brothers and sisters sitting next to you, surrounding you, co-creating this unique existing experience that will never ever happen this exact way again. Find the miracle, find the thread of the magic in knowing this is a miracle. And allow your breath to activate the cells in your body. As you receive a breath, feel your cells being activated. And as you exhale, allow whatever does not serve you to leave your cells. An inhale is a nourish, an exhale is a cleanse. Allow your body to feel that flow, that balance. And I invite you to imagine yourself being Christ's breath. Move through everything, attempting to make music. Allow you as the Christ's breath to touch everything around you. As you weave through and around your space, your home, your community, the country, the earth, think about your earthly possessions. remind yourself that as you touch each of those things that you have around you, you have the power to make it sing. You know exactly how to help everything that you touch. You know how to breathe service throughout humanity. You see new music being written. You see old music being played. You see the notes coming out of everything that you touch, flowing into other things, rippling on and on and on, creating sheets and scores of music. This is your infinite connection. This is your creative dance. And from that place of connection, I invite you to expand your consciousness. Forget for a moment that you are the Christ's breath. And remember that you are the consciousness that is breathing that breath into existence. Connect. Connect to the source at the center of your beliefs. Whatever that infinite understanding is to you, whatever name you call it, whatever name you don't call it, connect to that source of your beliefs. And imagine it as a sparkly ball of light that lives right in the center of your chest. Place that sparkly light right into your heart center. And as you feel that consciousness in your heart, it's time to connect to the above. Allow the consciousness of the above to create a sparkly ray of light from the farthest dimensions of the universe that you can pull from, and allow that sparkly ray of light to come right down and connect to your source in your heart. What does the presence of the above feel like to you? Now it's time to connect to the below. So imagine a sparkly ray of light coming from the center of the earth. And pull that sparkly ray of light right up through the center of the earth and connect it to that heart space. Feel the nuances of the below. How is it different than the energy of the above, the presence joining at your heart center? And allow them to swim together, to dance together, to create together, to breathe together within your heart.
This is where empty comes to be alone. Boundless golden plains, big blue sky. Radiant expanse in all her splendor. Towering, protecting her dominion. In spite of all you've known, in this mighty, wondrous, wordless space. The silence often comes here to hide her face. In spite of all you've known, you are part of something grander than you. Never are you alone, 'cause as above, so below. And this is where everything is from. The mystery, the great unknown. This is where empty comes to be alone. And this is where everything is home.
Feel that place of home, divine's home in your heart. Always connected to the energies the farthest away and the energies in between. That is the Christ's breath that we create with. That is the non-existence of infinity. That is our creative connection. That is our true power. Allow your inhale to make that ball of sparkly light even brighter. And allow the exhale to be the breath inside the breath, the creativity coming from you. Receive a breath. Feel divine. This is where everything is home. And as you begin to wrap yourself in that feeling of home, in that divine connection, I invite you to remember that you are sitting next to your brothers and sisters. Sense the presence of everything around you. Allow your breath to send the prayers through that space. Allow your breath to send the prayers beyond that space. as you begin to connect beyond the room, I invite you to feel the chair beneath you. Feel your presence in the world. Begin to feel you. Allow your body to come alive. Move your fingers and toes. And allow your breath to bring you back into the space. Conscious connection. What conscious vibration do you want to create with? What source do you want to pull your creative energy from? What intentions do you have to start your creative process? Allow your breath to bring you fully present into the room. Silence and stillness is important to make that connection, but our feet are standing on this earth. What are we going to do with that conscious connection? The answer to those questions, in my opinion, is a testament to our personal power. Leo Tolstoy says in War and Peace, "Power is a word, the meaning of which we do not understand." Power is a word, the meaning of which we do not understand. What does power mean to you? The dictionary tries to tell us it's the ability to act or produce an effect, the capacity for being acted upon or undergoing an effect. So to power something is to supply with power, especially motive power. What's your power supply? What's feeding your next move? Motive is something such as a need or a desire that causes a person to act, take action. And to motivate is to provide with an incentive or reason for taking action, to impel, incite, induce. Charles Caleb Colton was an Englishman, and he published a collection of aphorisms and reflections on many, many topics in 1817. And he talked about love and friendship and politics and religion. He talked about all the things. And his writing is marked by wit, by insight, and a deep appreciation for the complexity of the human experience. His acclaimed work, Lacan, or Many Things in Few Words, addressed to those who think. He writes this: "To know the pains of power, we must go to those who have it. To know the pains of power, we must go to those who have it. To know its pleasures, we must go to those who are seeking it." The pains of power are real, its pleasures imaginary. I believe this concept is found in the teachings of all the world's spiritualities. There were those who could motivate and provoke ideas of different paths of living beyond the mold of their existing level of understanding and cultural norms of the time. Personally, I believe these figures whose teachings, whether they are direct from a human or whether they're through story and myth and parable, they were simply bold and brave enough to encourage sovereign thinking and self-empowerment. Yet they challenged the control and the perceived power of their leaders. They shook things up, they ticked off people. Yeshua was persecuted for teaching esoteric concepts that expanded beyond the Jewish traditions. Buddha self-inflicted suffering until he discovered divine connection in silence and the breath. Muhammad was ostracized and forced to move from his home community in order to freely speak his philosophy, which combined Jewish, Christian, and new Muslim concepts. Power within the Tao is unnameable and indescribable, yet is proclaimed to be ever-present and self-cultivated to create our human experience. And Baha'u'llah formed the Baha'i faith after executions and banishments of leaders that created a Muslim sect that created a path to honor all prophets of all world religions in a unified vision of humanity. To know the pains of power, we must go to those who have it. To know its pleasures, we must go to those who are seeking it. The pains of power are real, its pleasures imaginary. I would bet that the majority of us wish to create more from the power field of infinite energy, frequency, and vibration than from a power field of finite human understanding. I'm guessing that the majority of us wish to power up ourselves and others to take action for what we believe will transcend the perceived human condition. I also bet the majority of us wish to power our spiritual connection from the very heart of the center of the non-existence of infinity. Match your vibration with the infinite power of your understanding and change your life. Here's a few quotes to leave you with. The Tao Te Ching says, "Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power." Plato said, "The measure of a man is what he does with his power." Margaret Thatcher said, "Being powerful is like being a lady. If you have to tell people you are, you aren't." Gotta love Margaret, right? Seneca said, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." And Martin Luther King Jr. said this, "Love is the most durable power in the world. This creative force is the most potent instrument available in mankind's quest for peace and security." MLK was motivated by love. He showed his power through love. He created with a frequency of love. He demonstrated how to be an instrument that the Christ's love moved through, and the world listened. MLK inspired motivated action because he himself was motivated, loving action. He was a change agent for love. So my question to you is, what kind of change agent do you wish to be?